a little bonus tip, when your mate gets a flat and there's a petrol station across the road, you use the opportunity to fill up, yeah?
Oh yeah, the good bloke's probably bringing back a Coke. They've been fucking half willing, you're right, mate. We've got average power wattage of 270 and we're going to go for 4 hours. I didn't do any videos this afternoon, I'll be fucking in bed.
Yeah, new time, same mindset, reminiscing where your mind at. Thinking about the dead man's life, why would anybody want that? Yeah, why would anybody want that? Yeah. No time, same mindset. Reminiscing where your mind at. Thinking about the dead man's life. Why would anybody want that? Yeah, why would anybody want that? Yeah. No times on my
So it's a real pleasure today to have my cycling coach over here. What are you doing there, mate? Got sweat in your eye. Can't get used to the humidity up here.
We didn't get on the beers last night, I can tell you.
You're cooking.
I am a puddle at the moment.
So David Steggles we call him, he coached me for a couple of years solid, and then recently with my goal to win an A-grade criterium. But he's been coaching for about 10 years, and he coaches athletes that are sort of juniors that are trying to make it pro, like a Carter Turnbull, right through to middle-aged athletes that are just, or middle-aged riders who are just trying to improve their bike riding. And I thought today in this video what we could do is we're actually creating a full online course for people that want to become a smarter cyclist. I'm going to link that below this video, but I thought in this video we could just talk about the top 5 things that Steggles see when a new rider comes to him, like the corrections that he has to make. So Steggles, what's the first correction you normally need to make with a rider?
Is getting the confidence to enable the rider to ride a little bit tighter than what they normally would. Normally, you find a rider, they'll be a metre out.
Yeah.
Give them the confidence. They'll understand a lot more about the pressure on the crank.
Yep.
Tighter, looks tidy. Number one, it's safe.
Yeah, okay.
Out there, they're not necessarily riding side by side. They could be a half a bike length in front of you. And if you're riding in a group, that disrupts the whole group.
Yeah, okay.
So
how close, like this?
Yeah, like you want to be, like maybe 100 mil, 150 mil. You're not
rubbing a bit of shoulder?
Well, you can rub, yeah. But that's up the road. You get a bit more confident. You can actually just lean on each other.
Yeah, okay.
But I think the ability, and then you'll have the ability to understand the pressure.
Yeah, cool.
Someone's got to set the tempo of the ride, and you can't do that when someone's a metre out.
So the second thing, you're alluding to it before, Steggles, talking about constant pressure. What do you mean by that?
Well, constant pressure's just slight pressure on the crank all the time. It's not like, so if you get to a hill, we're on a hill at the moment.
Well, normally when I'm riding up a hill with some people, we're doing 600 watts up the hill, and then we're doing 0 watts down it.
Yeah,
so
that's what you don't want.
Yeah, okay.
You actually just want to let the bike slow down. Just keep a slight bit of pressure on. Yeah, your wattage will go up a little bit, but you don't want to go into the VO2 max world. Just want the pressure, and then when you get to the other side, just keep pedaling. Don't stop. Just keep the pressure slightly on the crank, even on the downhill, and then you're getting that consistent pressure all the time.
So ultimately, what are we doing? We sort of, like when you ride, you're building your base. Yeah, is that what you're doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then when you want to go do 600 watts,
it's another day.
It's another day.
Yeah, your VO2 stuff, you're potentially doing another day. You put it all together at some points, but when you're actually training, do your tempo days, just tempo.
Yeah. Nice.
Do your VO2 separately.
All right.
Yeah. So now we're going downhill.
Yeah.
Just go down through the gears. Just keep the bike pedaling.
Oh my God.
So Steggles was changing a tyre in the top 5. You don't put the bike upside down?
Don't talk about that. I got it yesterday, and Cam wants to clean the chain. He just starts to roll the bike upside down. Anyway, we're all learning, aren't we?
We are all learning. I'm picking up new tips. Why do you never put the bike upside down?
You scratch the hood, you scratch the seat.
Put it on a nice surface there.
You just never do it.
Okay. So another little bonus tip actually, because we have been learning to ride close together, Steggles, over the years, we can communicate better with each other, can't we? So when I'm half wheeling you, you can tell me to pull it in and we're then singing off the same hymn sheet. So we're doing about 220 watts here, aren't we?
Yeah, 220.
220. Yep. So the third thing kind of goes hand in hand with the second thing we talked about, and that is once you've learned a consistent pedal stroke, what do you get riders to do?
You understand the pressure. What we try and do is ride that pressure for an hour, and then we start looking at the cardio drift.
So what's cardio drift?
Well, you sort of look at your heart rate, say after about 15 minutes, and then you look at your heart rate after about 50 minutes, and you work out what the difference is. It just means you're drifting. Should be very similar. When you condition, you can go for 2 and 3 hours with very similar heart rate. You know, in the first 15, it'll be the same after 2.5 hours. It means you've got a lot of condition.
Yeah, okay.
That's the beauty of a power meter. That'll show you, if you're running heart rate, eventually what can happen over time is your power just continually keeps dropping off all the time. So with a power meter, it'll show you exactly, you know, 1 hour. You're running an hour at say 2.5 watts a kilo, 2 watts a kilo, say 180 watts. It'll show you, you know, what do you like, 15 minutes to 50. You know, is it consistent? You go a little bit further. What's it like after an hour and a half? And you build that over time.
Yep.
Might be over a few months. And you know, what is your condition like after 2.5 hours? Can you still just ride that pressure? It's not about actually going deep at all. It's actually just about pulling it all back and riding at a low wattage.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So the fourth one, Steggles, you were just telling me, and it makes sense why you always carry 2 water bottles, is riders aren't hydrating themselves properly. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Look, if you're going out for, you know, 2 or 3 hours, it's true what they say, and everyone says it, drink bottle an hour. If you're sort of running at this sort of rate.
You had a glass before we left as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a full, well, you think about, you know, when was your last drink? I had a full drink bottle before I left, and then I try and have a drink bottle an hour. We stopped at a service station. We're going to be doing 4 hours today, and I'll consume the 4 drink bottles. It is warmer, like it's 25 degrees, but very humid. But even on a cool day, you still want to condition your body to drink. Just keep sipping all day.
So what happens to riders when they're not hydrating themselves properly?
Well, you just go
fatigue, poor recovery, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you just can't create the power.
Yeah, okay.
And you just don't recover.
Yeah, okay.
As well as if you're hydrated. There's plenty of stuff on the machine. Just have a look, Google it. Yeah. Effects of hydration.
Yeah.
To power. Plenty of information there.
Yeah, nice.
Listen, baby, this is crazy, but you take my breath away. I know that we got these feels, I'm hoping that you feel the same. I know that we got these vibes, I'm hoping you reciprocate, cause the way...
Alright, so we're just finishing up our ride here. I'm about to introduce Steggles to my favourite raw organic pancake place in Coolum. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, for sure.
But before we get to the last one, mate, can you tell me, like, I'm used to doing fast bunch rides, max heart rate, hell ride, Tuesday champs.
Yeah.
Why aren't we going hard? What's going on?
Well,
or is this the 5th one?
What we're trying to do, we're trying to build fatigue with volume, not intensity. So the power that you go out in the first half an hour, The third hour is exactly the same. And then you build on that. That's how you build your fatigue, not through the effort.
But a lot of people find that hard to get through their heads, don't they?
Yeah, but it's a different...
Because they're used to doing fast bunch rides.
Yeah, you're building your base. After that, that's when you build the efforts. You know, you build your, you know, your 3, 5, 10, 20 hour, all the different wattages, but that's how you're building your efforts.
But you get the you get the platform right first.
Build the platform foundation first, and then you can do those. Yeah, you'll have a bigger base fitness. You'll achieve better results doing those efforts later on.
Yeah, okay. All right, pancakes are waiting.
Yeah.
I was made for this. I was made for this. I was made